carry your smile in my heart. For times when my life seems so low, it would make me believe what tomorrow could bring, when today doesn't really know, doesn't really know. I'm all out of love, I'm so lost without you. I know you were right, believing for so long. I'm all out of love, what am I without you? I can't be too late to say that I was so wrong.
So thanks for doing this. It's very exciting. Your 45th anniversary tour is coming to New Zealand here in December. So I assume that's kind of what you're kicking off here in Utah. So first off, tell me how you prepare at this. I mean, you've been doing this for years now. So what do you do to get ready to go on a big tour like this?
Well, we're always on tour, you know.
Right?
This is just the southern leg, but it's kind of an ongoing thing when we go out, certainly to New Zealand and Australia. We always add different songs that are more likely they're going to know. But you know, we're always rehearsing. We rehearse every day at sound check. We run new things, so we kind of tweak our show constantly and little things, so that when people see us, if haven't seen us for a few years, they think they're big things.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Because I think the last time you were here in New Zealand was 2019. So
that's correct. Yeah.
So do you go back and look at what you did then and make sure there's some differences and some similarities and what went over well?
Not really, because the core of our show is always the same. We may have different arrangements, but we've had so many hits, fortunately, that the core is the same. The periphery is different. You know, the way we come on, how we come on, and things like that.
Okay, all righty. Now I know there's the great story about how you guys met in May of 1975 when you were rehearsing for Jesus Christ Superstar. But the thing I haven't been able to figure out is, what parts were you guys trying out for?
Oh, well, in those days, when we both went and we didn't know each other then, you just go for any part that there is. Predominantly for me, the men's chorus, you know. So I'm one of the apostles. So that was the hope, to get a job as an apostle, you know.
Right. Hosanna, 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 hey.
That's right. Yeah, Hosanna. You know, it's funny. It's been a long time ago we're in that, but I still know the whole score. I could sing it tomorrow. You know, I could be a cast member of Superstar tomorrow. Right.
Well, it was huge. I mean, I was a teenager when it came out, and same with me. Me and all my friends, we could sing the whole thing all the way through, and it wasn't because it was for any religious reasons. It was a great record, you know.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's one of the great musicals of our generation, you know.
Yep. So, one person who's getting a lot of talk about these days is Clive Davis. I think there's been some documentaries. He's still with us, thank goodness. And I know he was important in your guys' career. I'm looking at my copy of All Out of Love and see that he gets a co-writing credit there. So if you don't mind, maybe tell me a little bit about what he did for you guys and what you did for him.
Certainly. Actually, it was his 90th birthday last Tuesday.
Right.
And we were invited to go, but we had a show in Tulsa. We couldn't go. So I actually spoke to him on the phone. I told him we couldn't go, but we did a video shout out for him.
Right.
But the All Out of Love thing is an unusual one, because the song had already been a hit in several countries in 1978, New Zealand and Australia included.
Right.
With the original version. But the original version was, I'm all out of love, I want to arrest you. which, and funnily enough, now I think about it, I think, wow, that's really crazy.
Yeah, right.
But in America, when Clive first heard the Australian version, he says, I need to talk to you. He said, you can't have I want to arrest you in America. Right. He said, you'll get arrested.
Right.
And he said to me, if you want it to be a big, big hit, which it could be, you've got to change that line. And so he said, how about I'm so lost without you? And since it was Clive Davis, I said, yeah, that's fine.
Right.
But then Clive got a credit for that one line. But his royalties, he always donates to charity.
Right.
But, you know, I was a bit miffed at first because I thought, you know, he writes a one line and he gets a credit.
Right.
I write the rest of the whole song and still his name's as big as mine. But, you know, it was Clive Davis. But what it did, it guaranteed that the song was going to go all the way. And he told me that and said, it's going to go all the way, you know. So I said, okay, let's do it. And we did.
Very good. But apart from that, what did he do for you and you for him career-wise in general when he signed you guys up?
Yeah, just a little short of everything. Because, you know, we were pretty green when we first came to America. And he heard Lost in Love without even meeting us. We didn't even know that he bought the license. Right. But when we first met him, he was, we didn't realize about his legend. We didn't know that much. We knew he was really famous in the music business with CBS, but we didn't realize that he'd signed all this incredible acts, Janis Joplin, father, Bob Dylan, and I mean, all of them. And when we went to his office in New York for the first time, we were like, whoa, you know. Yeah. And he said, you know, I really like you guys. And he said, if we work together, I'll make you really famous and you'll never regret it. And he says, but we need to work together. Right. And so we said, okay, let's do it. And we did it, you know. So what does that mean, working together? Well, he would come to the studio. He would listen to all my new songs. He brought us a couple of songs that he said, I think you should record this because it'll be really good for you, good for your career, for a long career, not just a flash in the pan or a couple of hit songs. Right. And we listened to him. Plus my publisher at the time, who I recently met in New York at that time, he said, he pulled me aside because he could see I was flinching a little bit about the All Out of Love thing. And he said, do me a favor, listen to Clive and he'll take you all the way. Right. And I said, okay. And I listened and we both, Russell and I listened and he gave us that career. He really did. You know, he was incredibly influential. He was always a gentleman and he always did the right thing with us. And whatever he said always came true. Right. And why do you think that is? Did he have some kind of innate insight into how the music business worked with his connections? Did he just love good music? What was it? He had a great sense of song. And as much as I tried to think that maybe he's not as smart as he thinks he is, I was always knocked down. Right. Not by anyone, but by myself. I would go, wow, he's right again. And it was quite an experience for us, being very new on the scene and very green. But we learned a lot from Clive and everybody at Arista. Plus, he had this track record that couldn't be denied. So I think if he sent a song to radio, not just from us, but from any artist that he liked, it was pretty much going to get on the radio, you know. Sure. Yeah. It just was. And he was a Svengali, you know. and we kept waiting and saying, God, one of these days, Clive's going to pick a lemon, you know. But he never did. Right. We're still waiting. It's amazing. I mean, he had like 7 top 5 singles in the US. It's kind of unheard of, especially in that time. It was amazing, yeah. And he would tell us what was going to happen. But the thing is that, you know, those big hits with his guidance, they opened so many doors for us. Right. You know, they opened everything. We were on TV everywhere. You couldn't turn a radio on in 1980 without listening to several Air Supply songs. Yep, that's a fact. I think I remember seeing you on Solid Gold or something like that, you know. It was cool. You know, at first we thought that Solid Gold might be a little a little not our kind of thing.
Right.
But we soon realized that it was, you know, and we met some great people. There were Andy Gibb,
Right.
you know, some great people that were hosts with us, and it was a wonderful show. Plus, we were on it every other week.
I thought so. Yeah.
We just were. We were hosting it, and
Yep.
it was wonderful, you know.
Now, it's interesting because at that time in music, early 80s, things were changing. Punk had happened. Synth pop was happening. You know, all the stuff from England. It doesn't really seem to mesh with what you guys were doing, yet you were doing great. How do you explain it?
Well, we were one thing that we would not change is what we were doing. We kind of have found our own lane with our music, but it wasn't by design, it was by default. We just loved this kind of music that we were creating.
Right.
And, you know, the world welcomed us, but we didn't want to change it. We didn't want to change with the times. We just stuck to it because that's what we loved. And we became very good at it. We didn't want to do something that wasn't carved out for us. And we still don't. We didn't want to become a synth pop band or anything. We just stuck to it. And we rode those times where maybe we weren't on the radio all the time. But, you know, we sell out every venue that we play, and we always have.
Right.
So and that's okay for us. We don't want to be on the magazines. We don't want to be on TV all the time. We just want to go and play to our fans, and that's what we always wanted to do. But many people came to us and said, hey, if you do this, if you change your direction, you can do this and be really successful at that. And so it wasn't our thing, you know.
Gotcha. And of course, you and Russell have been working together since like the mid-70s now. That's a long time. How has that relationship changed, evolved, stayed the same? How is it from your point of view?
Oh, it's great. You know, I mean, I know Russell better than anybody,
I'm sure,
on the planet, but we've been working together for so long. You know, we've never had an argument, so that probably answers the question.
Yep.
We have so much in common. You know, we have the same name. We're born in the same month. We both saw the Beatles when we were 14.
Oh man.
We have great jobs within Air Supply. I'm the songwriter that doesn't want to be a lead singer because I'm not a lead singer.
Yep.
Russell doesn't want to write songs. He just wants to get up and sing. So for me, it's perfect. And Russell allows me to do pretty much all the production and get in the studios together and all the daily stuff. I'm good at that. So I do that. Russell likes to do his thing. He loves to go out to dinner and be with his family and his friends. And that's great for me because, you know, when it's time for us to record, I'll call him and I'll say, okay, we need to get together. I'm going to play you 20 songs and you're going to pick out which ones you want to sing. And that's how it works. And it sounds very simplistic, but that's the way it works. But, you know, he's a wonderful human being and very gentle, very sensitive. So he's the perfect vehicle for the kind of songs that I write. You know, it was predestined that we worked together.
Right. And did you ever think that it was going to go on for 45 years?
Oh my God, no. I think in the beginning, maybe 3 or 4 years, you know.
Right.
It's like that always reminds me when you see the Beatles documentary and they asked Ringo, in the very earliest, they asked him what he'd like to do in 2 or 3 years. And he says, well, maybe we'll last a couple of years and maybe I'll be able to buy a hairdressing salon, you know.
Right.
It's like, so you never really know.
Yeah.
You never know. But I mean, we're very aware that what happened to us could have happened to any thousands of bands. And we've been very lucky. We met the right people. We had a lot of good fortune on our side. And that's why it happened. But we're very thankful that it happened to us. We really are.
I'm sure. So, yeah, you mentioned the Beatles in the film and all that. That kind of cements their legacy if it ever needed to anyway, because it changed people's minds a lot. So do you think about how people perceive you and about your legacy at this point?
I think about it sometimes because, you know, in the early years, we were, you know, the the guys that sing all the love songs.
Right.
But there's another side to us, which people are beginning to figure out if they care to. I mean, if a band's been together for as long as we have, there's something going on,
Right.
There's something up here, and there's another side to that artist. And if people want to figure it out, they can figure it out. But I mean, and it's not difficult. But if they don't want to, then that's okay too, because we'll be coming to their town and we'll play for them, and that's enough for us.
Gotcha. And are you still writing songs?
Yeah. I write every day. I write musicals now. I'm on my 5th musical.
Right.
But there's nothing more that I like to do than write songs for Russell, and knowing that he's going to sing this song. It's a great thrill for me, because he's one of the greatest singers, in my opinion, of the pop generation. So here's me on a piano. Yeah, I know I'm going to write a song and he's going to sing it. So what could be better for me as a songwriter?
Right. And for you, so do you prefer, in an ideal world, would you be playing gigs all the time, or would you be sitting and writing and recording all the time?
I always write, but I love to play live too. I love that. God, it's like a drug. You get on stage. Yeah. And the people, they just give it to you. They laugh, they cry. You can see the emotion in their eyes, and they're like, "Oh my God!" They're on the edge of a cliff, and it's up to you when you push them over.
Right. Well, because I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of folks like the Stones and Rod Stewart and Dylan. They're all getting pretty old. They could retire years ago, and they're still out there doing it. And you wonder, what is it that keeps them on the stage? And it must be that,
Yeah, I mean, I went to see Bob Dylan last year, right before COVID, rather.
Right.
And I thought that same thing. But I wanted to see the greatest American songwriter of all time. That's why I went. Yeah. But he's the same. He loves to play. Look at McCartney.
Yep.
Oh my God, Russell's going to see him in August. He never stops. So I hope I have that stamina when I'm his age, when I'm in my 80s, Right.
Yeah. And speaking of Rod Stewart, you opened for Rod back in the 70s, didn't you?
We did for 6 months. Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, we were just out of Superstar, where we learned all about theatre.
Right.
And we were only 6 months old when we opened for Rod, and he came after the first show in Adelaide. He was in our dressing room, and he said, "That was amazing. I want you to open for me in the US next year."
Right.
Which we did. But then we went to school learning from the master. He was the biggest act in the world.
Yeah.
And we watched him for 6 months. We became very good friends, and he taught us, he just said, "This is what you need to do," and nobody handles an audience like Rod. He's a legend,
That was like his "Do You Think I'm Sexy" tour, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah,
like that. I think I saw that tour.
Oh yeah, you probably saw us before, but you can't remember.
Yep. All righty. So when you guys are going to be here in December, it's very exciting. Yeah. Do you alter the set list for Australia, New Zealand, Europe, wherever you're playing?
Yeah. Do we offer it? Do we put it out? We don't put it online.
Do you alter it though? I'm saying, do you change it around?
Oh, I'm sorry. We do. Yeah, we do. We, like in Australia and New Zealand, we'll put in "Love and Other Bruises," which we don't normally play.
Right.
Maybe another song or two from that era in Australia and New Zealand. But usually, as I said, the core of the show is the same. Yep. And, we may decide to change it, right before we go on stage. Say, "Let's do this tonight." But the hits we always play.
Of course, yeah.
That's why people come and see an artist,
Yep, absolutely. And do you get to talk to fans? Do you mingle? Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We do a meet and greet before the show. We do one after. And of course, our show, we're always talking to the audience, and we have a little Q&A. So they're not restricted with anything they want to ask us. They can ask us anything,
Yeah. All right. Very good. Well, I have to look forward to seeing it. Well, it's been pretty barren around here for live music, so we're we're getting revved up for some stuff because it's
Yeah.
everything's been locked
good.
down and locked out. So yeah,
How long have you been in New Zealand?
since '94.
Oh, okay. You must like it.
I do indeed. Best
Yeah.
best move I ever made.
Yeah. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
great.
beautiful place, isn't it?
It is indeed. Yeah, my accent's not going anywhere, but I'm staying here.
Oh, good for you. Well, thank you for your time, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Good luck with your show.
Thank you.
All right. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.